Building a dedicated home wellness space usually involves two massive headaches, right? Hiring general contractors and dealing with totally unpredictable electrical wiring.
Well, absolutely. It's a nightmare for most people.
Yeah. And if you are someone who has been looking to upgrade your recovery routine and bring that high-end spa experience into your home, you have probably hit that wall and thought about taking out a second mortgage.
Or just given up entirely.
Right. But today, we are looking at a product that claims to bypass both of those massive hurdles completely. Welcome to today's deep dive.
Glad to be here for this one.
Our mission today is to unpack a very specific unit. It is the SaunaSpa Maldives two-person indoor hemlock wooden low EMF carbon far infrared home sauna.
That is quite the mouthful.
It really is. But we have a really comprehensive stack of materials to get through for you today. We are pulling from the official engineering and product specifications, a very analytical review from a prominent home wellness blog, and a deep read of over 250 real customer ratings.
And I think 93 of those are verified buyer reviews, which gives us some really solid data.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, let's unpack this because finding a reliable at-home sauna is so much harder than it looks.
It really is. The home sauna market right now is incredibly messy. You have all these confusing spec sheets and honestly, a lot of aggressive sales pitches that mask what the product actually does.
So let's start with what this actually is. The SaunaSpa Maldives is manufactured by Steam Spa, which is a brand that focuses heavily on home spa products. And the big selling point right out of the gate is that it is prefabricated and plug and play.
Yeah, the prefab element is huge. Visually, they went with premium Canadian hemlock wood and these really sleek tempered glass panels.
It looks modern.
It does. And if you look at the footprint, it's incredibly manageable. The exterior dimensions are 46.5 inches wide by 40.5 inches deep, and it stands about 76.7 inches high.
Which, just to visualize that, it's essentially taking up less floor space than a standard love seat.
Yeah, it's perfect for a bedroom corner or a spare room. But the real game changer, and I cannot stress this enough for anyone listening who wants convenience, is the power situation.
The 120 volt thing?
Yes, it runs on a standard 120 volt, 60 hertz household outlet.
Meaning you just plug it into the wall like a lamp.
Exactly. No electrician required, no special wiring. Usually with traditional saunas, you have to hire a licensed electrician to pull a dedicated 240 volt line from your breaker box.
And depending on where your breaker is, that can cost thousands of dollars just for the wiring.
Right. It involves opening up drywall, running conduit. It's a massive project. But this unit pulls 1,800 watts and comes with a 10-foot power cord. So the flexibility of where you can place it in your home is vastly improved.
Here's where it gets really interesting, though. Let's talk about the heating technology. It uses carbon far infrared heating panels that line multiple walls, giving you a 360-degree surround heat.
Yeah, and we should definitely break down why that specific phrasing matters. VFR infrared is very different from a traditional steam sauna or even near infrared tech.
Because traditional saunas just heat the air around you.
Exactly. A traditional sauna uses a stove to heat rocks, which heats the air to maybe 180 or 190 degrees, and that hot air makes you sweat. Or infrared wavelengths operate entirely differently. They actually penetrate directly into your body tissue.
Which sounds intense, but it operates at a much lower ambient temperature.
Yeah, the temperature range on this SaunaSpa unit is only 77 to 149 degrees Fahrenheit. Because the wavelengths are warming your core directly, you get this incredibly deep core level sweating for detoxification without breathing in superheated, stifling air.
The sources mentioned a bunch of therapeutic benefits from that core heat, like improved circulation, reduced muscle fatigue, and even blood pressure support.
Well, yeah, that happens because the penetrating heat causes vasodilation. Your blood vessels widen, which improves blood flow and can help with muscle recovery after a workout.
And what about the carbon part? The spec sheet specifically calls out carbon panels instead of ceramic.
What's fascinating here is the material engineering. Older or cheaper infrared saunas often use ceramic rods to generate heat. The problem with ceramic is that it gets extremely hot in very localized areas.
So you end up with hot spots.
Right. Your knees might be burning while your shoulders are cold. Carbon panels, on the other hand, are made by pressing thin layers of carbon ink between fiberglass. It creates a massive surface area.
Meaning the heat is distributed perfectly evenly across the entire wall panel.
Exactly. It's a much more comfortable, enveloping kind of heat.
Let's pivot to the wood they chose. They went with Canadian hemlock. I know a lot of people associate saunas with cedar. Why hemlock?
Cedar is traditional, sure, but cedar has a very strong scent. Some people love it, but in a small indoor space, especially when heated, Cedar can be overwhelming. Hemlock is completely odorless.
And it's highly moisture resistant, right?
Yeah, it's very dense hardwood. It handles thermal expansion and contraction beautifully without warping. It also dries fast, which prevents mold, and it won't off-gas any unpleasant smells or chemicals at high heat.
Which brings up the out-of-the-box value. The sources really highlighted the built-in accessories that turn this into a spa experience without having to buy a bunch of upcharges.
The standard feature set is really impressive.
Let's talk about the built-in oxygen ionizer first. I was reading about this, and it filters allergens and odors, which is a huge plus if you have sensitivities.
An ionizer is a great addition to a closed environment like this. It essentially releases negative ions into the cabin. Those ions attach themselves to positively charged airborne particles, things like dust, pollen, or dander.
And makes them too heavy to float, so they just drop out of the air you're breathing.
Exactly. It keeps the air feeling really fresh, even when you're sweating heavily.
They also included some nice entertainment features. There's a Bluetooth speaker, a USB port, and an FM radio, so you can stream music or listen to a deep dive while you relax.
And the color RGB LED flat lamp is a nice touch for ambiance.
The chromotherapy aspect.
Yeah. Being able to change the lighting color can really enhance relaxation during an evening session.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of the positives. Standard feature set, solid materials. The DIY assembly also came up as a major pro. The panels are pre-drilled and labeled with buckles and clasps.
Most users reported putting it together in under 2 hours with 2 people.
And it's backed by a 5-year warranty on wood components and a 1-year warranty on electrical. Plus, it's ETL, FCC, and FSC certified.
Which means it meets safety standards, won't cause crazy electronic interference, and the wood is sustainably harvested. All good things.
But let's look at the cons, because no product is perfect.
No, and this raises an important question regarding their marketing. The product is named the Low EMF Carbon Far Infrared Sauna.
Right. EMF stands for electromagnetic fields.
Yes. And while SaunaSpa markets this as low EMF, they do not publish independent third-party lab results.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. If you look at premium competitors like Clearlight, they publish exhaustive third-party lab tests showing their EMF output is below standard thresholds, usually under 3 milligauss.
So with the Maldives unit, we just have to take their word for it.
Essentially, yes. This is a crucial transparency gap. For the average person, the EMF output of a sauna might not be a concern. But for medically sensitive buyers who are specifically seeking out verified low EMF environments, the lack of published lab data is a red flag.
That's a really fair point. Another quirk that came up in the wellness blog, and honestly, a lot of the user reviews, was the touch control panel.
The unsaved settings issue.
Yes. The panel itself is apparently very intuitive and easy to use, but it has no memory function.
Which means you cannot save your preferred temperature and time settings.
Right. If you like your sauna at 140 degrees for 45 minutes, you have to manually punch in those exact settings every single time you turn it on.
It sounds minor, but if you're using this daily, I can see how that frictionless experience is broken by having to tap the screen 20 times.
Totally. And the final con mentioned in the sources was regarding customer service. Some users reported slower warranty response times.
Which is a good segue into what the actual customers are saying.
Absolutely. So looking at the consensus across the 256 ratings, the verdict is overwhelmingly positive. It holds a 5 out of 5-star average on the primary retailer site.
That's incredibly high for a piece of heavy machinery shipped in boxes.
It is. Customers really seem to love the build quality and the value. A verified buyer named Harkus noted he was pleasantly surprised by the high quality and how great the instructions were.
I think people have really low expectations for prefab furniture, so when real, solid hemlock arrives, it's a pleasant surprise.
Another user, Pam F., loved it so much she actually bought a second one for a downstairs renovation.
Buying a second large sauna is the ultimate endorsement, honestly.
And Mirtha left a review saying she was surprised at just how effectively hot and relaxing the unit gets. I guess she was skeptical of the 120-volt plug-in power.
A lot of people are. They assume if it doesn't need a heavy-duty breaker, it can't possibly generate enough heat.
My favorite review name, by the way, was Bumwasher.
I was wondering if you were going to bring that one up.
I couldn't skip it. Bumwasher called the sauna a great luxury purchase, but they specifically pointed out the annoyance of the unsaved panel settings we talked about earlier.
It's good to see those consistent threads between the professional blog reviews and the everyday user comments.
But we should also address the critiques objectively. Not everyone had a flawless experience. Reviewer E. Leverich experienced shipping damage.
Which is an unfortunate reality when you're shipping large glass and wood panels via freight.
Yeah, though they did note that the company immediately sent a replacement part, so that's a point for customer service.
But then you have reviewer 185EZ. Their experience was much more frustrating.
Yeah, they reported receiving backward instructions and had to endure a months-long wait for a simple warranty part.
And the interesting thing about 185EZ's review is the rating they gave it.
Right. They actually gave it a 5-star rating, but in the text of the review, they explicitly stated they only gave it 5 stars because the platform wouldn't allow their 1-star review to post.
That is a fascinating look into the mechanics of e-commerce platforms. We always have to be aware of review gating, where negative reviews are filtered or delayed by the platform's algorithm.
It really highlights why you have to read the text of the reviews and not just look at the star average.
Absolutely. So what does this all mean? Who is the actual target demographic here?
So what does this all mean for you, if you're listening and wondering if you should click buy?
The sweet spot for this product is pretty clearly defined. It is perfect for a solo user or a couple. It's a 2-person sauna, but let's be real, 2 adults in there is going to be cozy.
Very cozy.
It's ideal for someone with limited space who is new to infrared saunas and wants an upscale, aesthetically pleasing all-in-one setup without spending top-tier premium prices.
The plug-and-play aspect is the deciding factor for that buyer.
Definitely. Now, who should skip it?
Based on the EMF gap we discussed, I'd say anyone who needs third-party verified EMF data for medical reasons should pass.
I agree. You should look at brands with transparent lab testing if that is a strict requirement for your health. Also, if you want a traditional wet steam sauna where you can pour water over hot rocks, this is not it. FR infrared is a dry, penetrating heat.
And obviously, if you have a large family, this isn't going to work. There was actually a review from a user named John Flusser who seemed upset it didn't fit 4 people.
Yeah, they definitely bought the wrong model. You'd need a much larger footprint and likely a 240-volt power source to comfortably fit a family of 4.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, where does this leave us on the final verdict?
If we connect this to the bigger picture, this sauna is a genuinely solid mid-range investment. It brings together premium hemlock wood, FAR infrared tech, and luxury add-ons in a highly accessible format. It really democratizes the home spa experience.
It completely removes the contractor from the equation.
Which is massive.
And as a quick pro tip from the sources, pricing does vary throughout the year, but Black Friday sales are historically the best time to snag a deal on this specific unit.
Good to keep in mind if you're planning a home gym renovation later in the year.
Absolutely. If you are ready to upgrade your home wellness routine, be sure to buy the product at the link in the description below to check current prices and availability.
It's definitely worth checking out if you fit that ideal buyer profile we talked about. Before we wrap up, though, looking at the rise of these plug-and-play units leaves me with a thought.
Oh, what's that?
With tech-integrated, low-barrier units becoming so accessible, are we moving toward a future where the home wellness room becomes as standard in residential architecture as the home office?
That is a great question. We all have home offices now. Maybe the home recovery room is next. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you learned something new, and we encourage you to keep exploring and optimizing your space. See you next time.
We rise like